Welcome back, everyone. Well, it is St. Patrick's Day in the midst of a very celebrated holiday weekend for many folks. Prom season coming up, weather warming up, and with the emphasis on keeping you and your family, your teenagers safe if they're going to be out driving this weekend, and of course into the spring. Lieutenant William Bowers of the Toledo Post of the State Highway Patrol is joining us to talk about staying safe out there. Lieutenant, thanks for being here. Appreciate it. State Patrol, along with other law enforcement agencies, holding a big news conference on Friday, announcing another blitz for the St. Patrick's Day weekend and beyond. And when we talk about that, what does that mean? How many extra patrols are out there this weekend?
Well, it could vary depending on the size of the department. I know at my post in particular, we're going to have probably an excess of 40 hours of extra patrol hours out on the roadway, whether that be troopers or myself out working to remove impaired drivers.
Every year, every holiday, you emphasize, don't drink and drive. We hear it all the time. We do it on the news. You get tough, you better not. Don't even think about it. So are people starting to get the message? Does the data show people are listening?
Yes and no. Our OVI arrests for 2012 were up across the state and up in Lucas County. However, our impaired driving accidents are down. So that's a good thing. However, in 2012, our traffic-related fatalities from OVIs were up in comparison to 2011.
Okay, so it's a good and bad.
Good and bad.
Like anything, you can't get rid of drunken driving altogether. That's for sure. But you work toward that end. So we talk about drunk driving, but we also talk about distracted driving, which has almost become as big a problem, has it not?
Yes. Distracted driving is a very big issue for us to deal with at this time.
Is it? But it's not just the phone. Is it? It's eating. It's playing with the radio, right? I mean, all of that comes into play.
Right. A lot of people talk to me about the texting laws and such things like that. However, distracted driving's anything, whether it's talking to people in the vehicle, whether it's dealing with navigational systems in the vehicle, or answering phones or messing with the radio.
This particular accident, your post covered a terrible situation there, ended in a fatality, and you respond all too often to accident scenes like this. In many cases, it is a distracted driver or a speeding driver. How often, tough to quantify here, but will you run into an accident scene where absolutely nothing to that effect was going on? Is there usually another factor, speed, distraction, impairment? Right.
It seems like any accident we deal with has one of those type of variables involved in it. Very seldom are they just a simple accident. There are always multiple factors involved in it.
How in tune are troopers now to texting and driving when you're just watching? Are you able to discern, just watching traffic go by, where your troopers are positioned? How have you trained in that?
Well, it's simple. We've been looking for seatbelt violations for years. It's one of the things that we really push home. It's no different than enforcing the seatbelt law. If you see someone looking down, typing on a iPad or a telephone, then they're texting and driving. It's the same thing when we look for seatbelts. We look for the belt to be across your chest.
And to refresh everybody's memory about this new texting law, if you see that, you can pull them over. Is that correct?
No, it's actually a secondary violation.
That's still a secondary offense.
Just like the seatbelt law.
In some cities now, you can be pulled over.
Right.
Would you like to see it go to a primary offense? If your trained officers see that, would you like to see it go to that point?
That's a difficult question. I mean, I can't really, I've never really thought that much about it.
I mean, to put you on the spot?
No, I mean, I've never really thought much about it as being a primary violation, because it is such a new violation for us.
But certainly it is a dangerous, can end up in a dangerous, potentially fatal situation, correct?
Right.
And we've seen that time and time and time again.
Right.
And now we move forward into warmer weather. We get ready for prom season. And kids will be out, kids will be kids, adults will be adults too. Let's make that clear.
Yes, that is true.
So do you turn focus at all, looking for teenagers, too many teens in a particular car? I mean, does it change at all in what you look for?
Well, yes and no. We don't particularly look at what's in the vehicles. This past few months, we've been worried about handling accidents and stuff like that. Well, now we're trying to switch modes and be more of a proactive and stop the accidents, whether it be from speeding violations, red light violations, reckless driving, that type of stuff.
You became the commander at the Toledo post of the State Highway Patrol not long ago. Back when?
January of 2012.
Okay, so we're just over a year in. How busy a job at the Toledo post of the State Highway Patrol is it?
It's a lot busier than what I thought it would be, to say the least. I'm going 24/7.
Yeah.
It's always something. Living in a major metropolitan area like this, there's a lot of stuff going on, whether it be inside the city, out in the county, out in Fulton County, and I'm responsible for both Lucas and Fulton County.
If you had a message to everyone today, what would it be? We've got about a minute left. What would you say to a teenager who might be watching this show? I don't know if we have, our demographic is real young here on Sunday morning, but who happens to be coming by the television. What would you say?
Basically, we need young drivers to be responsible. And when I say be responsible, is we see a lot of accidents where a young passenger is injured, and it's a result of reckless driving or speeding or something like that. So when you take on the responsibility to have somebody in your vehicle, we ask that you take that very seriously. And those people that are in your vehicle are in your hands, and we want you to
just be smart, right?
Right, be smart,
right.
and be responsible as far as
Lieutenant, thanks very much. Come back in just a minute. Conklin Company continues right after this.